Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I'm currently walking the River Yare between St Olave's and a place called Haddiscoe Island. It's about a 15-mile circular route, but I'm not doing all that today. This is more of a reconnaissance to check out some wild camping spots for a forthcoming trip I've got planned for later in the year. All in all, about a 6-mile hike with a wild camp at the rather aptly named 6 Mile House Mill. Now coming up to St Olave's, fortunately the only section of road walking. Taking its name from the ruins of an Augustinian priory that's nearby, St Olave's is a brief but noisy start to the hike. More on that later though. I haven't been out wild camping for well over 6 weeks now, so I'm really feeling the need to disappear, defragment and become a human being again, not some corporate robot. I just want to walk the earth. Too early for politics, Hardy. Let's just stick to pretty little windmills. First off the bat, we have St Olave's drainage mill, closely followed by the rather magnificent Farman's mill. I told myself at the beginning of this hike, 1 mill and 1 mill only. Well, I couldn't resist this one. Just a brief look around. I've got bigger fish to fry. This one was always known to me as Farman's Mill. Seems now it's known as Fritton Marsh Mill. It's in remarkable condition, considering it was only recently capped. Definitely needs securing. I just kicked a molehill and a penny that was minted in the 1920s just flew out. Sobering realisation that mole has more disposable income than I do. If you're planning to do this walk, get it done early in the year. It's late March now and the path is already overgrown. Come summer, it'll be impenetrable in places. Colder than a mother-in-law's kiss this morning. Melting off quickly now the sun's come up though. I absolutely love walking in these crisp conditions. Problem is, now we get the mud. I have 2 predictions for you. 1, it's going to be a wonderful day. And 2, if you were born in the UK in the 70s or 80s, the next song in your head will be
Rainbow, up above the streets and houses, rainbow climbing high. Everyone can see it smiling over the sky. Paint the whole world with a rainbow.
the last of the accessible mills coming up before we get to 6 Mile House. This one's currently under renovation. That's normally an excuse to build a house on the side though. I was quite lucky to speak to the former owner of this mill, and she mentioned that any new additions would be sympathetic to the original building. The sails will be reattached in June this year. 2 miles into the hike now, and finally the drone from that traffic has disappeared. Truth be told, it's not the most peaceful start to a walk. Well worth it now though. Now coming up to the halfway point and an ideal opportunity to stop for some lunch. I've something very special planned. This one's been sitting in my cupboard for more than 5 years now, so hopefully it's still good. I always feel a fair bit of trepidation opening up these old rations. What will we find inside today? Will it be botulism, salmonella, listeria, or the plague? The cheese is meant to be yellow. There's a fair bit of oxidisation, which is not a good sign. I'm not going to lie to you, that was bloody grim, well out of date. If you're watching this video, it means I'm still alive. The blueberry cobbler, on the other hand, is very nice. The crackers are the best. Jalapeno cheese. Be rude not to. Here in East Anglia, this island has a rather macabre and notorious reputation, renowned through history for its inbreeding and interbreeding. And of course the legend of the beast that's said to haunt this area. Half boy, half sheep, he's said to roam feeding off unsuspecting hikers and wild campers. How do I know? Because I am that boy sheep. Joking aside though, there's a definite hillbilly feel around this place. I think I stumbled across one of their taxis this morning. Getting very close to our destination now. Some of you may be curious as to how an island can be 6 miles inland. Well, the rather unglamorous answer is it's just separated from the mainland by 2 rivers and a canal, the Yare, the Waveney and the New Cut. Expecting pirates and palm trees, were you? Well, hopefully this mill won't disappoint. Must be well over 30 years since I was last here. Shall we go in? I feel quite emotional returning here. When I was last here, I was a carefree young lad. Now, I'm a married man with 4 kids, one of them under 5. I'm happy though. Hasn't changed a bit since I was last here. Wish I could say the same for me though. Too bad we've got to get old, eh? Managed to rip a lovely hole in my down jacket in that mill. Thank goodness for repair patches, albeit in the wrong colour. I'm going to walk for a few more miles along the river. I'm not going to camp at the mill. There were quite a few deer carcasses around it. And as you probably know, the only predator a deer has in the UK is man. The heat signature of a deer and a person laying down in a tent are probably very similar. So I didn't fancy getting shot. So it looks like I'm going to be walking the entire 15 miles. Good job I packed enough water. That's an extra 3 kilos of weight in the backpack. Worth it though. There's not a filtration system available today that I'd trust to purify water from these rivers.
And now, from Norwich, it's the Quiz of the Week.
I'm feeling generous today, so it's competition time. I want you to watch the video from beginning to end and then count all the named mills that you see. Then, in the comments section below, start with the heading, I wear skiddy knickers, and then your answer. First right answer out of the hat wins a Robin's mountain bivvy bag. That's the one with the side zip and the bug net, worth about £80. Pay close attention though, as I may add the odd fiendish red herring. The winner will be announced 1 month after publication of this video. Let's play a game, shall we? Ask me a question. Anything you like.
Where have you been?
Where haven't I been? What?
Well, to quote Cicero, some of the time I do what I want, the rest of the time I do what I have to. Come and take a look at this. Definite Mary Celeste vibes about this one. It's seen its last pleasure cruise, that's for sure. Incidentally, this is not the only wreck along this stretch of the river. There's another very close to Burney Arms windmill. Welcome back. As you can see, I'm all set up. There's just one thing left to do. Absolutely stunning night. No gourmet meals on this trip. Boil in the bag fare today. I tried these in the Peak District and I was really impressed with them. Hot. Good. Nice can of Raoul Moat. Cheers all. Is there any better feeling than boots off and fresh dry socks after a long hike? Maybe this? Shockingly, I've no new camping gear to show you. However, if you're into the filming, I did get these for Christmas to replace my GoPro 13. Apparently, the battery doesn't suck and they're great in low light. I've set up one here at the tent and another time-lapsing at that old mill. Here's a recap on today's journey. We started when we parked the car on Beccles Road in Fritton. Then we walked down to St Olave's, then under the Haddiscoe Bridge where we followed the New Cut Canal for 2 miles, ate lunch where the New Cut Canal and the Yare meet, then followed the River Yare along until we reached 6 Mile House Mill, then past various other mills until we've reached our spot here, just across the river from Borough Castle ruins, 9 miles in total. A few of you have asked whether I recorded when I met up with Simon, a bloke in the woods. Well, the simple answer is yes, but not enough for a full YouTube video. Pleased to meet you.
How's it going?
Simon, a bloke in the woods. I just wanted to enjoy the experience. YouTube's quite a ball ache, especially when you've got 2 YouTubers filming. I guess what I'm trying to say is some things are better lived than preserved.
It's got slots in it for tenants, so it's come from somewhere else.
Fantastic company, great conversation and a magnificent location. What more can you ask for? Hopefully I can tempt him out in the future for another Wildcamp. I know it's not the done thing to pitch on a path like this, but this place is very remote and you never see a soul here. This is the first outing for the mighty Helm 1 Compact in 2025. Apparently there's a new version coming. I have a full comparison video coming soon. It's been a long day and a hard walk, so I'm going to turn in. See you all in the morning. Morning. Bit of a cold one. One hell of a sea fog came rolling in this morning. Made for some magnificent views. That's the closest to a cloud inversion you're ever going to get in Norfolk. In a bit of a hurry this morning, I've got 2.5 hours to walk 8 miles to the car, clean my dangly bits, get changed and head to work. I'm going to have to walk and talk. So, let's do this, shall we? This morning's route will closely follow the River Waveney. There's still a couple of mills to look out for, so do keep watching. Found some great places to camp for my kayak explorer Braid and Water later this year. And no ill effects from that MRE yesterday. Life's good. My apologies that this section of the video is going to be a bit rushed, but that's the price you pay for camping on a school night. Breakfast was good. Caffeine and cholesterol, a proctologist's nightmare. There's a few dwellings dotted around the island, and the natives do seem friendly. Had a good old chat with one. Sadly, didn't meet the sheep boy though. As I'm sure you've guessed from the drone of the traffic in the background, I'm getting very close to where I started the walk yesterday. Have to say, after all this walking for breakfast, I'm not overly enthusiastic about going to work today. I've got to remember though, work days equal walk days. And this has been a stunning hike. Haddiscoe Island Circular, completed it, mate. You all stay safe, and I will see you on the next one.